Look at Mom. You have pain? You have pain? Hey, buddy. Hi. Can you look at me? Can you smile? Can you give me a smile? No. I love you.
Good morning, guys. How is everybody today? So today's video is a little bit different. I am giving you a video update on Aaron. So I've had a lot of people wanting updates on how he's doing now, and that's understandable because I had been posting probably weekly-ish updates on him while he was in the hospital. So now that he's home, I haven't posted any updates, well, mass updates for people, and so of course everybody's curious as to what's going on. But I wanted to do this particular update in a video in a special way. I'll start out with what happened, well, what we think happened. We're still not quite 100% sure. Hey, Kitty! I think Kitty's on the thing here. Good, Kitty. Come on. Come on. Shadow, come on. He's gonna knock this over. So, the accident. July 1st. I was working on my porch, and I got a message from Aaron's phone, but it was from his friend, saying that he got hurt pretty bad and the officer there wanted to call me and to give the phone number. So that's what I did, and the officer called me, told me to head on over, quote, to the hospital. Aaron's on his way there. He fell and hit his head. So I want to stress that when this officer told me this, I thought a concussion at the worst. I thought, well, okay, he got hurt, he hit his head. They're going to check him out and I'm going to bring him home that day. That's what I thought. That's how nonchalant this officer was on the phone. Now, I get that they don't want to panic people for driving and things like that, but I wasn't prepared for what I walked into, and I wish I was, because it was chaos, and don't ever wish that. So there were a lot of steps to his stay at Bay State. So there's a lot of, he was transported to different places, and I'll explain that why. But originally he was brought to Bay State, which is here where we live. It's a big hospital, very good hospital in Springfield. And he was brought there. When I got there, he was already intubated. He was being brought to CT to see what was going on with his head. He was not conscious. And when they brought him out, all of this was just a matter of minutes. When they brought him out, they immediately brought him to surgery. And I was told that it was life-threatening. His brain was hemorrhaging. In the back here is where he hit. His brain was hemorrhaging, and so they had to stop that bleeding, and it was quite a bit of bleeding from my understanding. So we didn't know what was going to happen. They brought me to a waiting room. I called Matt and I said, call Stephanie, which is one of my daughters. Please have her come watch the kids so you can get here with me, please. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. After he had the surgery, which actually took a lot less time than we anticipated. I was told this could take hours, and it took 1 hour. So I was happy about that because I thought, okay, well that means he's doing really well and he's going to be fine. But of course, that's mom, just, and that's my nature of being positive. I'm a positive person. I prefer to be that way. And although they told me it was life-threatening and I was panicked about that, I knew he was going to come out of it. I knew it. How he was going to come out of it, I didn't know. That is something I was worried about, his mental state. This is a brain injury. This is a TBI, traumatic brain injury is what they call it. And so his brain was really swollen. They said it was really tight. That's the word they used. And so we didn't know how this was going to end. So there he was, out of surgery in the PICU, which is the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit at Bay State. And they took really good care of him. He was still intubated and on meds, sedated for the most part because of that. He had to have more testing done. I had left for the afternoon, had my daughter Katie come and sit with him. I came home, changed, showered, got a week's worth of clothes, some snacks, things, you know, to hold me over in the hospital. I got his book so I could read to him, all kinds of stuff like that. So when I got back, it was not what I thought. When I left, he was okay. When I got back, I noticed his arm, his left arm, wasn't working so well. And he wasn't really moving it at all. He wasn't doing anything with it when he was previously. So when I got back, I found out that he had had a stroke. Now here's the thing. As I'm sure many of you know, the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body and vice versa. The left side controls the right side. And they did a CT scan and saw that he had a stroke on the left side. He actually had 2 strokes, but he had it on the left side of his brain, which would have affected the right side of his body, but it wasn't. It was his left arm. So they're trying to figure out what happened, why he's losing function in that arm. And because of the strokes, they rushed him over to Boston Children's, which is a 2-hour drive from where we live. Boston Children's sent an ambulance crew, grabbed Aaron and myself. We went to Boston Children's, and the reason for that was because there is a stroke neurologist. So it's a neurologist who specializes with strokes. That's there, and then they have specialized equipment if they need it, that they're better equipped to handle this type of situation than Bay State. When we got there, they assessed him, did the same stuff, hooked him up, everything else, and I think it was 2 days later, they finally got the MRI going. It took a couple of hours for this MRI. They had to sedate him for it, and found that really it was okay, that there was an aneurysm that they had seen previously on the CT scan, but that it looked like it was actually getting better. So because there was nothing more that they could do there that Bay State couldn't do, he was transported back to Bay State 2 days later. So he was in Boston for 2 days total. Meanwhile, Aaron is, at this point, not talking, extremely restless, very thirsty. He just kept wanting a drink, and no one would give it to him because he had to have this test that kept getting put off. I got fairly angry because it kept getting put off, and all he wanted was something to drink. He was so thirsty. Anyway, we got back to Bay State, which I was very happy about, and he stayed there. He was transferred from the PICU area to the regular children's floor. So no longer intensive care. Now he's on the regular floor. All they did was really monitor him. So it was, the IVs were out by this time. This is a week in. This is 1 week in. And I thought he was going to be in intensive care for weeks and weeks. This is not at all how quickly I thought things were going to progress. It was a very, very happy surprise. But at this point, still not really talking all that much, but just starting. To the point where if I listen and if I tell him, Aaron, talk very slow, one word at a time, I can put together what he's saying. Okay, so here we are, the second week of this accident. And now, actually, they're talking about transferring him to Spaulding in Boston, which is a rehabilitation center, like one of the best anywhere. Rehabilitation center. And we got pretty happy about that. Basically, what happens is that they have to wait for a bed and get all the insurance stuff together and all that stuff. So that's what we did. Another week goes by and they say, oh, there's a bed. We're just putting together all of the insurance and everything else, and you guys will be probably going tomorrow. We're like, okay, yay, this is great. Because he is extremely restless at this time. He keeps trying to get out of his bed. He is agitated and upset, understandably. At this point, he starts to be able to talk more. And I'm just referring to my notes here. He starts to be able to talk more. And so at that time, the doctors are asking me a lot of questions like what happened and do we know anything yet? And at this point we have lots of different stories, but we don't know anything definitive. So she says the more we know about what happened to him, the better we can treat him. So I started to ask him just a few questions. I did not want to overwhelm him. I did not want to confuse him. But if it's going to help his treatment, I wanted to see if he could remember anything. So I only asked a few questions, and here's what he said.
Aaron, sweetie, do you remember what happened to you?
No.
No? Do you remember how you got hurt?
Accident.
Accident, yes. But do you know what happened in that accident?
No.
No? You don't remember?
No.
Do you remember going to the park?
No.
What about a van?
I don't remember
You don't remember
anything.
anything?
Why? Why?
Well, you had an accident, sweetheart, and we're trying to figure out what happened to you.
From who?
From
What
who?
happened?
I don't know what happened. They say that you fell out of the van at Whitney Park. But we're trying to figure out what happened to you. Because you had a pretty bad accident.
Oh. Just even falling man.
Huh?
This one and all. Just being from falling man.
This wouldn't all be from falling out of the van?
In park, yes.
You'll notice that this section, the next few sections actually, the screen will be black pretty much. You might see a little bit of movement, and that's because the room was very dark, so that he could try to get some more rest. But you can hear everything. Okay, so you can see that he doesn't remember anything at this point. He doesn't understand fully. He doesn't know what happened. He knows it was an accident because he heard over the couple of weeks, he had heard the doctors asking questions, and so he would overhear what we were saying. But we don't know at this point, we still don't know what's going on, and that's what we're trying to find out. So during this stage in his recovery, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. Now here's the thing. Aaron and I have always been close. We've always been close. We've joked around a lot. There's always been lots of hugs, even at this age. Lots of kisses. He comes and will hug me every day. He likes to tease me because I'm shorter than him now. He'll kiss me on the forehead and call me shorty and that kind of thing. But there's always been a lot of affection and closeness between the two of us. And I mean, to be honest, I was concerned about how he was going to be after all of this. Like, is this going to change his personality? Is this going to change how he views people and things? So there's so many uncertainties with this. You just don't know. So when he started to ask for kisses and hugs and tummy rubs, I was pretty happy about that. It was, I was just starting to see his personality coming back. It was great to see. It was a relief, and it was so sweet. So you'll hear in this part him asking me for kisses and hugs and tummy rubs.
Can you come here?
Sure, what do you need? Oh, what you need, sweetheart? What's all over you? Kisses? I hate kisses. You want to take this off?
Huggy.
Huggy. Kisses and huggies.
And tummy rubs.
And what?
Tummy rubs.
Tummy rubs? You want tummy rubs?
Yes.
I think we can do tummy rubs. You squeeze today? Squeeze my hand, baby. You want kisses? Oh, I love you.
I'm going to your house.
You want to go to my house? You mean our house? We can as soon as you're all better. Absolutely. As soon as you're all better.
Right now.
You can't right now, sweetie.
One of the hardest parts of this recovery for a mom and for Aaron is that he kept thinking he was going to die. Once he was out of sedation and was more aware and knew he had an accident and knew he was in the hospital, he kept thinking he was going to die. So this next section is just a couple of times where, you know, he is saying that he needs food to stay alive, because at this point he's not eating much. It's just very soft foods. He lost a lot of weight, and he was already thin because he has Noonan syndrome, so his metabolism just is always in high gear. And at the end of this section, you'll hear me say that you're not gonna die, Aaron. And that's because he says it multiple times throughout this part of his recovery. I can understand why he would think that. He knows he's pretty messed up. He knows he's had a bad accident, and he knows that that he could potentially die from this. He's not out of the woods quite yet. I mean, he's out of the PICU, but there's definitely watching him carefully because of the strokes. And of course, he's got meds for that. And then they're worried about seizures, so he's on seizure medication, which might be what happened for that arm, that left arm. Nobody really knows 100% what's going on with that arm, or at that point, what was going on with the arm.
Two.
Stay alive. You have food, sweetheart. Are you hungry? I can feed you if you're hungry. You want some pudding? You want some pudding? No? What do you want?
Peaches.
Peaches. I got that too. Lucky you. Aaron, you're not going to die, sweetheart. Okay? You don't have to think that. You're not going to die.
So at this point, Aaron is starting to verbalize a little bit more. You'll start to hear him talking a little clearer. I do repeat what he says in these recordings because I repeat it back to him to make sure that it's correct, so he can validate that that I heard him correctly. And that's exactly what he does. So he starts asking me questions now about what happened, and I wasn't there, so I don't know the whole truth. Somebody does. We still don't know the whole truth, and honestly, the police aren't doing anything at all. They're just not. I'll be totally honest. And this has already going to court. Wasn't even really investigated, and it should have been, because even the doctors don't believe the story because it doesn't match with Aaron's injuries. Anyway, I won't get fully into that, but I tried to answer the best I could, and in a way where I didn't upset him, to let him know that it's okay, we'll figure this out, and that he just needs to get better. Started coming, and you got to remember, he's 17, so he's not a little, 5, 6, 7-year-old who is just like, okay, mommy's here, so it's okay, I don't feel good. He wants to know what happened. He knows who was there. He knows the driver left him to die, basically. He knows some facts about it. But he wants to know exactly what happened, because he does understand that, and you'll hear this, he does understand that the injury does not fit the story. So you'll hear him asking questions here. What, honey?
Do you remember anything?
I don't remember anything. I wasn't there. I wasn't there, honey. How about you? Do you remember anything from that night?
Funny. Wow. I go from falling out of a vehicle.
Can you say that again, sweetie? What?
I find it funny how one story I fell out of a moving vehicle. Next one I'm having a stroke.
Yeah. Well, both of those things happened, honey. So now Aaron is a few days into the regular children's floor at Bay State, and now is where we're starting to try to get him up a little bit. By no means can he walk right now. He cannot walk on his own at all. He can not really walk with help at this point. So, he needs lots of help with everything. And now, though, we were saying, let's get him out of the bed and maybe get him in a wheelchair. And if we can do that, just kind of get him outside. There's this courtyard area. It's a kitty again. There's this courtyard area that that you can bring patients, and there's things to do out there. And he is still very sore. He's hurting a lot. Lots of headaches. Lots of neck pain. Not a happy camper. But he did like to go on these short little rides. So I would take him in his wheelchair around the floor. I mean, the first time we went, and you'll see the pictures, was the nurse took him and we went to this courtyard. He didn't stay very long. It was only minutes. He wasn't very comfortable. I think it was muggy out and icky, so we went back in. And after that, I got cleared so that I could go ahead and take him for walks. And then soon after that, it was time to go to rehab. I'm hoping you get to go to rehab today. Wouldn't that be nice?
I hope so.
Yeah. Get you out of this hospital, huh? It's going to make you all better. It's going to make you walk normal back again without being shaky. Make you use your arm all better. Okay? And it'll help you to not be confused anymore. And everything's going to get back to normal. Okay?
So now it's time to go to rehab. Originally, we were supposed to go the July 14th, I think it was, and the insurance took its sweet time, so they gave away his bed. And I was devastated, and I was angry. I was really angry. We didn't know now how much longer he was going to have to stay at Bay State, and he really was. He needed to be at rehab. He was so restless and just kept trying to get out of the bed. And at this point, like I said before, I didn't sleep much. I probably had 2 full nights of sleep combined in over 2 weeks. And it was wearing on me. It was wearing on him. He needed to be at rehab where he could get out this energy and start learning to walk again, talk again, and everything else. The next day, they came in and told me they have a bed. So that afternoon, the 15th, July 15th, we were on our way to Spalding.
Yeah, I hope so. I birthed you. How are you feeling? Dizzy?
Okay.
A little bit? You think the glasses would help? No? How do you think your physical therapy went?
Good, because I walk.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't it great?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like a baby when I walk all over again. No.
It is, but you're going to get there. And now we're just waiting for occupational therapy.
Gets to Spalding, and at this point we're trying to figure out how we're going to pay our bills, because my husband is out of work this whole time, and he used up all his vacation time, he used up any sick days that he had, he used up everything. And so somebody started a GoFundMe for us, which we were very thankful for, and it paid for a week. So far, it's paid for a week so far, but we're very thankful for those people who helped. So anyway, Aaron's at Spalding. At this time, by this time, he's very alert. He's awake most of the time during the day. He is starting to walk, talking much better, and this is when I really start to see his personality coming back. Anytime a doctor or nurse at Bay State or anywhere else would ask me, what's his baseline? What kind of kid is he? The first thing out of my mouth is funny. Aaron is funny. He always has been since very, very young age. I've always told him he should be a comedian. He's just a funny, outgoing, happy kid. And he's always cracking jokes, and he's very quick. He's one of those that are real quick with the comebacks. So yeah, that's his baseline. And I started to see that coming back, and I was able to catch some of it on film.
Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Do, 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 do. Boop, 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 boop. Hi. You may be wondering how I got to this point. Let me take you back, all the way back. It all started when I was born at Springfield, Massachusetts. I forgot the hospital name.
Bay State.
Bay
No,
State.
you were born at Mercy.
Mercy. You didn't spare me any mercy. You're like, I came flying out. I was like, I'm Superman. But then I realized I don't like Superman, so hey, I became the Batman.
You're crazy.
Okay, so fast forward to the day before Aaron gets to go home. And here's the thing. He wasn't supposed to go home until, well, originally it was August 11th. Then they moved it to August 8th. Then they moved it to August 1st. And the reason for that was he's doing so well. He is progressing so fast. He's regaining movement and use of his left arm. He is walking progressively more every day. Speaking great, OT, speech, everything is just progressing like crazy. A lot of that, they say, is because he has a 17-year-old brain. If that were, you know, my 45-year-old self or somebody else, we probably would not have been so lucky. But he is extremely excited. He is ready to go home. And so am I, to be honest. So am I. So here's a little bit about, it shows his excitement and his funny side. And asking, by the way, when you hear him say, I want to see my daughter, that means the dog, Bella. That means the dog. I had a few nurses that look at me funny when he's like, I can't wait to go home and see my daughter. And they're looking at me and I'm like, no, he means the dog. Because they're like, I didn't see that in his file. I'm like, no, he doesn't have an actual daughter. He's talking about the dog.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
Smile. Are you excited to go home tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How
I get
excited?
to see my daughter.
How excited are you?
On a scale from 1 to what?
1 to 10.
10.
10?
Yeah. Because this bed. It's as hard as a rock.
What's the first thing you want to do when you get home?
Relax.
Yeah?
Or see my dog.
See the dog?
Yeah.
What else? Anything else?
Eat.
Eat?
Yeah.
What do you want to eat?
Either stuffed cabbage or doing the boiled dinner.
Can I see how this arm is doing? Okay. Good job. You're getting a lot of strength back. Squeeze. Yeah. Good job, babe.
I'm going home tomorrow.
You're going home tomorrow. Who's excited?
Pick me.
So the day finally comes. It's here. Aaron gets to come home. We're all very excited and can't wait. But actually, the nurses and the doctors, because Aaron is so funny, they're like, we don't want him to leave. Like, they didn't want him to, they're glad he's recovering, but they didn't want him to leave because he was like their favorite patient and so funny and just joked around with everybody. So one of the nurses came in the morning of us leaving, and mind you, Aaron, since they told him he could go home early, he has been just paranoid that someone's going to come in and tell him, sorry, we made a mistake, you can't go home. And that was for 3 days, I think, from when they told him he could go home. So every time somebody walked in, he got a real straight face and just looked at him like totally serious because he was nervous that they were going to say, you can't go home. So I guess they decided to play a prank on him. So the nurse comes in that morning and he says, so Aaron, we're going to have to keep you for another month. Like, he didn't say a couple days, he didn't say a week, he said a month. And Aaron gave him what I call the death stare. He was not happy. He was instantly angry. He didn't say anything at that point, but you could see it on his face. He was not a happy camper. So I jumped in really fast and I said, Aaron, he's kidding, you're not staying, we're leaving, like within minutes we're out of here, so don't worry about it. And he looked at me with like this face of like relief. And the nurse starts laughing, and he's like, no, I'm just playing. You get to go home today. He's like, we're sorry to see you go, but we're happy to see you go at the same time. So yeah, that was a mean, but kind of funny joke they played on him. Kind of getting him back for all the jokes and stuff that he did when he was there previously. So I thought it was pretty funny. So one cool thing that they do at Spalding is when a patient leaves, they sing. They sing to them. And so Aaron had the chance, he actually had the option to choose from a song that rhymes with row, row, row your boat, or it's a rap song that I guess that they made up. And I thought he would pick the rap song, but he didn't. He picked the row, row, row your boat one. Aaron, you ready to go home?
Yeah.
I don't know where Patrick is.
No, Patrick never does.
Gave me this morning. We've decided to extend your stay.
You know, for a month he said.
Home, 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 you know your discharge is today. Wave your hands and say goodbye, you'll be on your way. Home, home, home you go, now your rehab done. We all think you're very special, you are number one.
Yay! Thank you, everybody. You guys can have this back.
Corona.
Look who it is.
Aaron.
Oh.
We're going home. How are you happy, Aaron? Or are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't look happy?
Looks
Should
different.
we
I'm very uncomfortable.
should we go back?
That's a no.
We're home. It's awesome. We're finally home. And we knew Bella was going to go a little crazy when Aaron got home. She hadn't seen him in a month. And we knew she was going to go a little nuts. So we had Aiden run in and put her in a different room until Aaron got in the house and we could sit him on the couch safely so that Bella didn't knock him over. And as you can see, she went a little nuts. She kind of got a little crazy. And we had to calm her down a bit. Hi, Belle! Who's that? Who's that? Be nice, Bella. Be nice. Be nice.
I'm injured.
Be nice.
She's like, you've been
It's okay.
She's usually
Let her
not
go,
this
honey. It's okay.
excited.
It's okay. Relax. Relax. It's all right.
No, down. She's usually not this excited.
She's happy to see you. She's like, where you been? Don't destroy my couch. Relax. Relax. I
Oh,
know.
look at that tail.
Relax.
Doesn't seem that does
calm
she
down.
remember?
Calm down.
So we decided to give Aaron a welcome home party. Just a small, just a few people, family that we have that really were concerned about him. And I mean, lots of people were concerned about him, but just people that were here. I didn't want to do it big because of course, Corona and all that stuff. So we really kept it small. And we just did a barbecue and pool party. That was it. And Aaron got in the pool the first time that day, for the first time since this happened. And he did really well. He felt more secure in the water. I think it helped to hold him up. And walked around a little bit and then got out and sat a little bit and visited. It was really nice. It was calm. It was fun to see everybody and finally be home again. And so Matt and I, we have a Lincoln, a car, an LS, or I don't even know what that means, but that we've had for a couple of years. Aaron has always loved this car, and it's always been our plan to give it to him. So we talked about it, and he has always loved this car. So we said, well, instead of giving it to him when he graduates, why don't we give it to him now? And that will help him. It's even more of sort of not an incentive, but a reasoning for him to keep progressing, keep moving forward, keep pushing, and getting better. And I really do think that plan is working out. He wants to work on it all the time. He's like you know, Dad and I are going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. So it's a good car. I mean, the car runs, it's perfectly fine right now, but he wants to do different things to it, and change the brakes and all this stuff. And by the time that he's able to drive the car, this could take a year, he will have fixed this thing up the way he wants it. He doesn't have a license yet, and when he turns 18, he can get a license, and that's not until April. So the timing, we thought, would really help his recovery. We really thought, well, this will help his recovery, because not only is it something that he has now that he can work towards, like he's excited about, but he'll use his hands. He'll have a lot of use with that left arm. He's using his brain. He has to problem solve. He has to do math. He has to figure things out. He has to learn how to do this. And so for those of you who don't know, Aaron in school, his shop he's automotive, so he's already doing this stuff. He already knows a lot of this stuff. So this really, really was right up his alley, and I think it was a really good idea for us to do. So we gave him the car the day of the party, and as you can see on his face, he's pretty happy about it. Where we are now, today is, I think, the 17th, possibly the 18th, I don't even remember. Where we are right now is he had a CT scan this past Wednesday. We went on Friday to get the results and see the neurologist, and they took the neck brace off, so he's happy. He no longer has that neck brace, and he's doing really well. They did find on I can't remember if it was a CT scan or the MRI. I just had this Zoom meeting. I had a Zoom meeting with the neurosurgeon, one of them, at Boston Children's, and there was 2 areas of concern having to do with, I believe, the blood vessels in the brain. And that's something that, it's not an emergency at the moment. They're watching it. They're going to make sure that he's okay. I have to watch for any signs of anything else, strokes or seizures or anything. He is on seizure medication, and he is on baby aspirin for a blood thinner to try to ward off strokes. So he is, there are a couple areas of concern, and we're just watching that. And he will end up having to go back to Boston Children's and have some testing done, and then they will compare the befores and afters of the scans. But until then, that is something we'll watch for. And I'm trying to have Aaron live as normal life as possible. He is progressing every single day. He is now going to the bathroom on his own. He still needs help with a shower. That is, we cannot have a slip and fall. So he has a shower chair, but otherwise he's doing really, really well. He walks around on his own. Still a little unsteady, but not anywhere near where I think he's going to hurt himself. But he's not allowed to get up without me knowing. So he's not allowed to get out of his bed without telling me so that I can go up there. He's not allowed to walk around the house without me knowing. If I'm outside in the garden, he has to text me or call me to say, Mom, I have to go to the bathroom, or Mom, I want to come downstairs. He absolutely cannot do stairs on his own. That's just out of the question at this moment. But otherwise, he is doing really well, and he's progressing really well. And like I said, we're just astounded at how quickly he's progressing. And a lot of people would say, well, aren't you worried that, you know, he's doing so good, something bad might happen? And I'm not a superstitious person, and I like to stay positive, and that keeps him positive. We've had lots of talks lately about keeping a positive mind, knowing you're going to be okay. Positive thoughts all the time. And even if something bad happens, or even if something upsets you, spin it. Put a spin on it. Find the silver lining, and come out of it positive. So that's where we are with that. He has all of his therapies in an outpatient basis, so physical, occupational, speech. They're really wonderful with him, so he's doing really good with that. And his recovery is definitely on track. I mean, for me as mom, it is always I hear a noise and I'm thinking, what is that? Did he fall? Did he get up and not tell me or whatever? So it's always a sort of a battle within me that I'm trying not to be paranoid about it, and I'm trying not to show him that because I don't want him to see me upset or anything. But at this point, that's where he is, guys, and I hope this was enough of an update. If you guys have any questions, something I missed that you might want to know, just put it in the comments and I will answer you. But otherwise, he's doing really, really well, and I truly, truly thank everybody for any type of help, whether it's thoughts, great thoughts, words that you said on Facebook or anything else, here on YouTube, the GoFundMe. That has been great. I mean, it's so hard for me to even think because there was just an outpouring of kindness from everybody, and that is definitely something that when as a parent, if you have to go through something like this, you, I think, need that stuff. I don't know. It was a surprise, I think, and it was I don't know, it's just a wonderful thing, and I very much appreciate it. Aaron appreciates it. He does know about it. He has read messages. He has heard what people have to say, and he's actually pretty astounded because he's like, they don't even know me, and I said, I know, and so it's pretty remarkable, and I thank everybody for their kindness. I'll see you guys in the next video.